and I'm here for a Daily Dose of Hope, day 338. So nice to meet you and nice to see you again. Let's see. So in the background is my site. If you're interested, please check it out. So Daily Dose of Hope. What is a Daily Dose of Hope? Daily Dose of Hope is something I was guided to do about a year ago. And I was guided to come on to give a daily dose of hope because the energies on our planet are increasing. And as they do, things tend to get wackier and wackier. And sometimes it gets confusing and it gets hard to kind of just go through your everyday life. Things just seem to be so heavy at times. And so Daily Dose of Hope is something I was guided to do to help us all reach that middle point. And here we have the yin and yang symbol, and with the yin and yang symbol, hold on, let's see, and yeah, it's working. Okay, so with the yin and yang symbol, we have the two sides, the dark side, the light side, a little bit of light in the dark, a little bit of dark in the light, and then in between there we have this line, and this is the line that we're trying to walk down. We're not on either side. It's a very thin line. It's almost invisible, so hard to see, but it's there. It's there, and we walk that path so that we're not in the polarities. We're not stuck in love, or we're not stuck in fear. We're not stuck in anger or sadness. We're just following our path. While it looks like the world may be falling apart around us, but we're just following our peace. And so that's what a Daily Dose of Hope is about. So I wanted to share that. So right now on our planet, many things are happening. Well, it seems as if many things are happening, but I think a lot of the things that are happening now have already happened, and they're just being revealed to us now. And this is not just on a purely third dimensional level. I think this is happening on many different levels. Even our life on this planet is just we're going through time that already exists. We've already reached the end. We're just kind of going through every second so that we can understand what happened and see how we would react in every situation. So yeah, but yeah, lots of stuff happening now. Like there is a remote viewing from the CIA where they discovered the no, I'm blanking on it, the Ark of the Covenant, and there's a whole bunch of other different things that are happening. The pyramids, underneath the pyramids, and all these different things. I think a lot of these things have already been discovered, but what's happening is they're just being revealed to us now. That's what's happening. And but it can be a bit, depending on where you're at in your process, it can be a bit jarring at times. And so Daily Dose of Hope is just that. With my site in the background, I have different offerings, spiritual guidance, sound healing. We have the Lightworker community, which is we meet twice a month. We have live channelings, and there's also a sound bath every month. So if you're interested in that, that's all there, and that'll be below. Today, what I'd like to talk about is getting to the root of the problem, right? So a lot of times in our lives, in our worlds, and most of my life, when you have a problem, we tend to just put a Band-Aid on it, right? I have this problem, and I'm just going to put a Band-Aid on it, and that's going to solve it. Well, not solve it, but at least it'll make us forget about the problem for a while. Maybe it'll just go away when we've forgotten about it, but it never really does. And so how important it is to see the root of everything, of every problem. Just something that popped into my mind today. I was watching a video about acupuncture, and they were talking about one of the meridians, and they were saying something that was really interesting. So they were talking about the liver meridian, which starts at your little toe and it goes up to your body and up into your face. And so what they were saying is that there are certain things that can be wrong with the liver, but you can't really ask someone those things, but you can find out by certain symptoms. So one of the symptoms I thought was really interesting is people who sigh a lot. So what they'll do is they'll ask a question to someone. So how have you been feeling recently? And they'll say, well, so sighing. And sighing is a sign that hold on. Oh, I forgot to share this to the other. I wonder if I can do that now. Hold on. Sighing is this sign that you are that you're trying to like let go of the air. There's caught energy, and you're trying to kind of get it out somehow, trying to balance the energy, balance the wind inside of you. I thought this was really interesting because, so now when people sigh a lot. I always wonder why are they sighing so much, and it's like, now I know it's the liver meridian. But so a lot of times we don't really know what the cause is. So for example, when someone sighs a lot, we just assume that they must be stressed out, and in a sense they are, but there might be other factors involved as well. So getting to the root of a problem is so important. And so this is not just physically, but in our world and in our lives. We tend to find ourselves in the same situations over and over again, and the reason we do is because they're there to teach us. And so in those situations, right, we can either choose to be in the victim state, like, oh, why me? Why does this always happen to me? Or why is this happening to me? What is it that I'm doing to create this? How can I fix this? What is the root of this problem? And so I want to share just one thing related to this, is that ever since I was a kid, I used to have this one reoccurring nightmare where I'd be walking around in this big house. So it'd be like my house, but then it would be huge. Like there would be extra wings and extra rooms, and there would be like extra floors that I didn't even know existed. And it was just huge. And I would be wandering through the house, and there would always be somewhere close to the attic, and there'd be always one floor that was just filled with fear, like just this strong sense of fear that you could not escape from. It was just so powerful. And I always remember in the dream, I would be curious about this floor, and I would try to kind of go into it, but it was just too scary. It was just, the fear was palpable. It was something that you could actually like touch, just like abject fear. The scariest thing you could ever imagine, but there was nothing visually there. It was just the fear. And for the longest time, and in that dream, I would always try to like, all right, I'm going to go into this place, and I would get closer, and then I'd be like, no, I can't handle this. And then finally, one day I decided I'm going to do it. And I walked right into it. I walked right through the fear. And I got into this room, and there was this person on the floor. They were all covered in dust and soot, and it looked like me. It was me. And I kind of looked at them, and I helped them up, and then I gave them a big hug. And that was me overcoming a lot of fear, I guess, of approaching who I am. And, when you dream about your house, you're dreaming about yourself. And so finding other rooms in your house or other places that you didn't know existed means finding out things about yourself that you're hiding from yourself, for example. And so this is a really important thing for me to actually finally meet, in a sense, like my inner self, or my little self, or my ego self, or however you want to call it. But this was everything that I was denying myself, all got lumped onto this part of me, and they were kind of trapped in this scary, fear-filled room that no one would ever approach. And they were just stuck in this room, and it was really sad. But now they're not in that room anymore, which is great. So in my dream. And so I wanted to share that too. So this is also a thing. So sometimes we don't even know what the root of the problem is. It could be something that like a teacher told us when we were a kid, or I know for myself, there's certain like phrases that I heard when I was a kid that always they guided a lot of my life. And until I realized, I was like, wait a second, that phrase came from this and this and this, and that didn't even mean anything. That was just something that someone was saying off the cuff. But when you're a kid, you take everything seriously, and you assume that adults are very, very wise, and they're giving you this amazing wisdom all of the time. And then you realize, like, oh my God, they were just like going through some midlife crisis or something like that, or they really didn't like this person, and so they were just. But those phrases can they for me, like some of those phrases pretty much created some of my life. And that's neither here nor there, just it is. But understanding that is really important. And I think that's why they're there. So we understand, oh, okay. So that didn't really mean anything. And so all that stuff that I was trying to do was guided by nothing. And so then you can kind of stop doing that stuff and realize, So it's important to get to the root of the problem. That's my kind of theme for today. What is the root of the problem? So don't look at the outward things. Don't look at what's being shown to you on the outside. Look at what is inside. What is missing? And again, the answer is always love. What's missing? Love's missing. That's always the answer. So if there's ever a problem, and if you see on the surface, it represents, problems come about in so many different ways, so many different guises, but love is always the same. And you always know love when it's there. It never lets you down. You always know, that's love. It just needs more love. And when you put the love in there, then everything just fixes. Everything works out. So I think that's the key. And so it's important first, though, to understand that we have all of these programs, I guess. And programs maybe is not the word for it. But programs is the word, but for example, phrases that are in the background that someone told us when we were younger, or someone tells us now, just all those different phrases like I'll never be good enough, or I'm not as good as that person, or I'll never get this, or I don't have enough of this, I never had enough of this, and all these different things, all these different phrases that you'll notice them coming up in your mind. And then you can kind of look at them and say, hey, wait a second, I don't think that way. That's not who I am. And you can kind of just pick them out. And this is why it's so important to go inside into meditation and things of this nature. So you can see your mind, see what your mind is trying to do, and see all the, I guess it's like a mechanic. You can go into your mind and say, wait, I don't need this device, whatever this is, throw that out, and this, I don't need that. All I need is the love part, the love generator. And so anyway, so that's what I wanted to talk about. I'm going to go into a channeling today. I thought what I would do today is ask about maybe if they want to give some more clarity to what this idea of finding the root of the problem. And also if they want to talk a little bit about, just for fun, about the pyramids and about the Ark of the Covenant. So yeah, with the Ark of the Covenant, I think this is from a few years ago, probably like 10, 15 years ago, there was a remote viewing study published where they found the Ark of the Covenant in a remote viewing session. And then the other one is they were doing some sort of radar, and they were looking at the base of the pyramid, and they found that it extends quite far below, and that there's like 4 huge pillars, and it just adds to the idea of who built this thing and for what and how. So those 2 questions for today, and today is March 28th, 2025. On Friday, 4:43 in the afternoon, spring with crazy winds and cherry blossoms. Here we go. Greetings, we are the one that you know of as Yeshua. First of all, we'll talk about the mysteries, all of the mysteries on your planet. There are many different mysteries, many things that have been hidden, many things that have been made out to seem larger than what they are. And what you're seeing on your world stage is a revealance of things, a revelation of sorts, of things that have been hidden for a very long time, and they're being revealed to you. Many of these things you already know about, you already understand intuitively, but it's important for them to come out in this way, to come out in what you might call a scientific way, so that those who are not, who lack the imagination, will be able to understand. In this world, it is very, very important to have an imagination, but at times, many of you have been trained out of your imaginations. All of you have an imagination, but when you are children, you know that you have imaginations, but as you grow up, you are taught not to have an imagination. It is trained out of you. And so this term that you use, science that you say. You call the word science to describe things that are real and things that are not of the imagination, which is a misnomer, of course. So all science is also an imagination as well. It is the same idea, because all of the topics that are coming out now will be considered science, but before they were considered imagination. So what we would say is that science is just a matter of time, as is imagination. Imagination becomes the science over time, and you create the science with your imagination. All science is also created with imagination. So on your planet, there is a strong you rely on science, you rely on the concepts of science, but understand that science doesn't explain the fabric of your reality. Science does not understand your universe. Science doesn't understand your soul. You, on the other hand, understand your soul through your imagination. You have a clear guidance system that you use your imagination in order to access that information. You understand your soul on an individual level. So what we would say to all of you is that it's not necessary to rely so much on this concept of science, as you have seen in the past few years, how your science has led you down different pathways that maybe you did not want to go down. So understanding that is part of the revelation that is coming to your planet. But back to the mysteries that are being revealed to all of you. This mystery of your pyramids, yes, there is much more to your pyramids than you have been taught, but you intuitively understand how important these pyramids are. You intuitively understand that they are energy creators, that this is a power source. These are generators, energy generators, that don't have their batteries plugged in, is one way you might see it. They are not online. And what is happening now is they're being revealed to you so that they can come online. But it's important for you to understand the functioning, the systems, and how they work and how they came into being, so that it isn't a shock to you, and also so that you can follow along the story. Because it's very important that all of you follow along in the story. This story could have all happened in the background, but then there would have been no meaning to it, because this story is not about the story. This story is about your awakening to what it is that has been hidden to you, the nature of your reality, so that you can understand the reality that you are going into, and also so you can understand the nature of third dimensional realities, because this is what you are graduating from. And these third dimensional realities are what you will be helping others to maneuver, to navigate. Many of you will become guides for those in third dimensional realities. So it's important for you to understand all of the different facets, as this being says, the yin and the yang of your third dimension, and understand how they all work together. It's very important. It's very important not to avert your eyes from this as you are all graduating from this game. And so that is why these mysteries are becoming revealed to all of you, in addition to this Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant, there is much ado placed on the Ark of the Covenant. There is much ado placed on this ancient technology. And it is necessary for all of you, so that you see and you understand that this technology has existed, does exist, and will continue to exist in this third dimension. This is just the revealance of the cards, the revelation of everything that has been hidden from all of you. And that is what we'd like to bring forward to all of you today. And in this revelation, there's also the personal revelation of all the things that you have hidden from yourself. So this doesn't just happen on the world stage, it also happens on the stage in your mind when you get quiet. What have you hidden from yourself? What are you hiding from yourself? Why aren't you following your dream? Why aren't you doing what you love to do? All of these questions. What are the things that are holding you back? What are the ideas? What are the images? What are the feelings? What are they? So this is part of this revelation method, and it is an ongoing process. It has been going on for quite a while, but the process has become more overt these days, these recent days. And what we would say for all of you is that it's okay, and that you are all okay, and that this is just a process, and you are loved, and you are beautiful beings of light. All right. So thanks everyone for listening in. I forgot to put this up on YouTube, so I'll have to copy that over. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you guys are hopeful, and hopefully I will see you all tomorrow. Ciao for now.